Hey, wanna dance?
No thanks.
Some of these moments are so crazy, they have the iCarly Nation in stitches and in shock. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're looking at all of the most memorable and downright shocking moments from the iCarly revival that sent the nation into a frenzy. Ever since the series dropped on June 17th, fans have been falling over the new content that's exactly what Nathan Kress promised. iCarly for adults. With everything from Carly blurting out cuss words to Spencer drinking hot beers, we're looking at the most shocking and memory burn-worthy moments of the show so far. With 9 episodes left before season 1 ends, we're sure this list will only grow. But there are still so many iconic moments that can't be ignored. Which characters love a stiff drink? Does Freddie's first date on the show end up well? Let's find out. If you're a film and television fan, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel for more cool content just like this. Now let's get to it. Carly cusses. For many fans, seeing Carly say the B word was like seeing their parents at a nightclub or seeing their elementary school teacher drunk. You never expect such straight-laced people to rebel, even a little bit. While this might just be the child star effect that makes a star who had a blazing young career seem frozen in their youth, it made for some shock-worthy television. Seeing Carly say that she was going to switch it up on a B was an out-of-body experience for many, and the internet is still reeling. She said it again in episode 4 when she's picking a dress for the Seattle Fashion Fest. Carly has definitely become an FBIC. You can even ask the Ray Widows of Wisconsin. From a series that used to make up their own swear words like shiz or waz, this is a big step. But the adult content doesn't stop there.
Apology. Love! That is a perfect caption for Meatball Face.
Totally.
Pour it up. Sometimes you need a drink to unwind after a long day. For Carly and her gang, drinking is finally an option. Even though Spencer was old enough in the original show, he was not able to take a drink. No way Nickelodeon was going to try and explain alcohol to the parents watching. But now, we get to see Spencer enjoy a beer or a martini on several occasions. The gang even sips on some mimosas in episode 1. The first time we saw Spencer and Freddie take a sip of gold leaf martinis, we knew we'd grown up with them. Most viewers are just glad Spencer can have a drink. Poor guy has been waiting for years.
Gold leaf martini?
Yes, please.
Freddie and Spencer's bromance. While these two have always had a mutually respectful relationship in the original, it's been great watching them bond over the trials of adulthood. Spencer even mentioned that he gave Freddie the seed money for his first startup. Spencer has been both a father and brother figure for young Freddie, and it's cool to see the relationship evolve. One of the most memorable moments came from episode 2, where Spencer blinds himself for a few days.
Don't say a word! I'm honing my sensory skills. I need to do this on my own.
Freddie steps in as his assistant and does everything from working out with him to helping him pee. Though, that might be gross. It's cool to see this duo get into wild shenanigans again.
She's gonna be here any minute.
Think fast.
Oh!
Fashion montage. Fans have been a little bummed since they discovered that Saw Puckett won't be part of the series. We were hoping to see how Carly and Sam's friendship held up during her adult years. But despite Jeanette's very understandable absence, Carly has found a hilarious friend in Harper. She's sweet, silly, and really good with fashion, which is why this montage was such a great moment. Featured in episode 4, when Carly hires Harper as her stylist, the show goes for a classic dress-up sequence that shows off the two's budding friendship. Everything from fluffy pink gowns to racy little dresses fills the scene, and we're here for all of them. We can't wait to see what these two friends will get up to next.
Bell's calling.
Carly dons the dress. Speaking of fashion fests, this moment may have brought the nostalgia chills back. After Carly tries on nearly every dress that Harper picks for her, she settles on the dress that was featured in the most emotional episode of iCarly yet, I Goodbye. Seeing Carly wear a remixed version of the dress she wore to the father-daughter Air Force dance was super sweet. Harper even makes an on-the-nose joke about it. Though Carly's grown out of it, it's a great nod to the original series.
If you don't take the first step in those black ankle boots, can I borrow them?
I go on dates. Okay, one of the craziest moments in the revival is the continuous dates that Freddie and Carly go on. Sure, we saw them date other people in the original, but it was pretty childish, and rightly so. Though these two seem to strike out in the revival. It's cool to see them dealing with what most young adults do these days: weird dates. Perhaps one of the greatest sources of humor from the series comes from Carly's dates. While they might be conventionally good-looking, they can be a bit odd. So far, Carly's been on a date with a guy who gargles whey and comments on the nuances of Seattle tap water, and a guy who doesn't know how to pick out meals that don't have pictures next to them. Freddie's had some adventures of his own, but we'll get to that later. Though we haven't seen Spencer on a date, we're sure the coming episodes will review his dormant dating life.
People are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
Freddie and Ramona. If there's one thing we never thought we'd see in an iCarly episode, it's a full-on relationship with a sex worker. Episode 4 blew viewers away when Spencer accidentally paid for a sex worker to make Freddie feel good about dating again. Sorry, is this iCarly or BoJack Horseman? Seeing Freddie get back into the dating game with a girl he thinks is interested in him is kinda sad, but also kinda funny. The two go out on many dates, which Spencer has to keep paying for. $500 an hour is not cheap, even for rich Spencer. While fans never thought the show would go in this direction, Nathan Kress spoke recently about the many different angles they might take. "We've realized how much story there really is left to tell," Kress said, "especially just because we're not just continuing it from being teenagers. It really is fast-forwarding 10 years to see where life has taken these people and how differently they find themselves from their late teens to their late 20s. That's a big jump. Best of luck to you, Freddie."
So we done here? Great.
Freddie's wrecked life. Keeping the Freddie train going, we're going to focus on the shock and disappointment many fans had with the Freddie character's position in this revival. Back in the day, he was the nerdy but super smart tech guy who was able to run a high-end and fully functional live web series in 2007. Now, while that might be as easy as clicking a button today, back then it was a mean feat. Freddie was poised to be at least as successful as Carly, if not more. While the show does comment lightly on the disillusionment of many millennials, some fans felt sad to see their favorite good guy so down and out. Not only does Freddie have 2 divorces under his belt, which is shocking for a 26-year-old, but he's also jobless after a failed startup. Despite Freddie living in Seattle, which is one of America's tech capitals, he's on the unemployment spectrum and living with his mom. On top of that, he's struggling to raise and discipline his stepdaughter, Millicent. We just want to see Freddie finally get a reward for his smarts and hard work. Here's hoping the character has a turnaround. We're rooting for you, Freddie.
Freddie Fish Tickler Benson?
Spencer takes it off. This one's right up there with Carly cussing, and with good reason. We all love a freeing moment and encourage a good time, but the last thing Carly probably wanted to see when she walked into her brother's apartment was a naked Spencer working on a sculpture. Yeah, we never thought we'd see it either. The pilot started off with a bang and never stopped. This begs the question, has Spencer always worked on his sculptures in the dark with nothing but an apron on? Is it part of his creative process? What kind of noise-canceling headphones are those? So many questions. This was the first and biggest sign that we weren't in kids' territory anymore. Spencer's free to curse, although he's only said light words like damn and hell, and his freedom to prance around his home, commando, seems to be just the beginning.
What kind of faux apology was that?
This revival will only get better as time goes on. Which shocking moment was your favorite? Do you think Freddie should go out on a date with Ramona again? Let us know what you think about these scenarios in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for even more cool content just like this. See you in the next one!